wake up every morning, look in the mirror, and wonder where the years went. Your skin feels different, your energy isn't what it used to be, and those aches and pains seem to multiply with each passing day. You've been told to eat your vegetables, that they're the key to healthy aging. But what if I told you that 3 common vegetables sitting in your refrigerator right now could actually be speeding up the aging process? What if the very foods you've been told are good for you are quietly stealing your vitality, clouding your mind, and making your body age faster than it should? Today, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about 3 vegetables that millions of seniors eat every single day, completely unaware of the damage they're causing. Before we dive deep into this revelation, I want you to think about something. How many times have you felt unexplained fatigue after what seemed like a healthy meal? How often have you experienced joint stiffness, brain fog, or digestive discomfort without understanding why? The answer might be simpler than you think, and it's hiding in plain sight on your dinner plate. Let me share with you the story of Eleanor, a vibrant 68-year-old grandmother from Ohio. 6 months ago, Eleanor was struggling. Every morning she'd wake up feeling like she'd been hit by a truck. Her joints ached, her mind felt cloudy, and despite eating what she thought was a healthy diet full of vegetables, she was aging rapidly. Her doctor couldn't find anything wrong, and she was beginning to accept that this was just what getting older meant. But then Eleanor discovered something that changed everything. After eliminating just 3 vegetables from her diet, she transformed. Within weeks, her energy returned, her joint pain disappeared, and people started commenting on how much younger she looked. The wrinkles around her eyes seemed to soften, her skin regained its glow, and most importantly, she felt like herself again. What Eleanor discovered, and what I'm about to share with you, goes against everything we've been taught about healthy eating. These aren't exotic, hard-to-find vegetables. These are common foods that most seniors eat regularly, believing they're making healthy choices. The first vegetable that's secretly accelerating your aging is one that might shock you: tomatoes. Yes, those bright red beauties that we've been told are packed with lycopene and antioxidants. But here's what the health industry doesn't want you to know about tomatoes, especially if you're over 60. Tomatoes belong to a family of plants called nightshades, and they contain compounds called glycoalkaloids. These natural toxins were designed by the plant to protect itself from predators, but in the human body, especially as we age, they can wreak havoc on our joints, digestive system, and overall inflammatory response. As we get older, our ability to process these compounds diminishes. Our digestive enzymes become less efficient, our detoxification pathways slow down, and our immune system becomes more reactive. This means that foods we could handle easily in our youth can become inflammatory triggers in our later years. Dr. Michael Chen, a functional medicine practitioner who has studied nightshade sensitivity for over 2 decades, explains it this way: the aging digestive system becomes increasingly sensitive to compounds it once tolerated. Glycoalkaloids in tomatoes can trigger a cascade of inflammatory responses that manifest as joint pain, digestive distress, and accelerated cellular aging. But the problems with tomatoes don't stop there. Modern tomatoes are often picked unripe and artificially ripened with ethylene gas. This process not only reduces their nutritional value, but also increases the concentration of harmful compounds. Additionally, many tomatoes are grown in soil depleted of essential minerals, meaning you're getting the inflammatory compounds without the protective nutrients that should naturally balance them out. Eleanor noticed that her arthritis pain was always worse on days when she'd eaten her favorite tomato and mozzarella salad. She initially thought it was just a coincidence, but when she started paying attention, the pattern became undeniable. Within 3 days of eliminating tomatoes from her diet, her morning stiffness began to improve. The second vegetable that's aging you faster than you realize is the potato. Now, before you dismiss this as impossible, hear me out. Potatoes are not just innocent starchy vegetables. They're another member of the nightshade family, and they contain some of the highest levels of glycoalkaloids of any commonly consumed food. But there's more to the potato problem than just nightshade compounds. Potatoes have an extremely high glycemic index, meaning they cause rapid spikes in blood sugar levels. For seniors whose insulin sensitivity naturally decreases with age, these blood sugar spikes are particularly damaging. When your blood sugar spikes repeatedly, it triggers a process called glycation. This is where sugar molecules attach to proteins in your body, creating harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs accumulate in your skin, joints, blood vessels and organs, causing them to age rapidly and function poorly. Think about it this way. Every time you eat a potato, you're essentially creating tiny rust spots throughout your body. Over time, these accumulate, leading to wrinkled skin, stiff joints, clogged arteries, and organ dysfunction. The visible signs of aging that we accept as inevitable are often just the accumulated damage from decades of blood sugar spikes. Dr. Sarah Williams, a gerontologist specializing in nutritional interventions for healthy aging, has observed this pattern in thousands of patients. I've seen remarkable reversals in aging markers when patients eliminate high glycemic foods like potatoes from their diet. Skin elasticity improves, joint mobility increases, and cognitive function often sharpens within just a few weeks. But the potato problem goes deeper than just blood sugar. Modern potatoes are often stored for months before reaching your table, and during this storage period, their glycoalkaloid content can increase dramatically. Green potatoes, or those with green spots, contain particularly high levels of solanine, a toxic glycoalkaloid that can cause digestive upset, neurological symptoms, and increased inflammation. For Eleanor, potatoes were a daily staple. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, potato salad. She loved them all. But she began to notice that her energy would crash about an hour after eating them, and her joint pain seemed worse on days when potatoes were part of her meal. When she eliminated them from her diet, not only did her energy stabilize, but she also lost the stubborn belly fat that had been accumulating around her midsection. The third vegetable that's secretly aging you is perhaps the most surprising of all: bell peppers. These colorful, seemingly innocent vegetables are praised for their vitamin C content and crunchy texture. But like tomatoes and potatoes, bell peppers are nightshades, and they carry their own set of age-accelerating properties. Bell peppers contain not only glycoalkaloids, but also high levels of lectins, proteins that can bind to the lining of your digestive tract and create microscopic tears. This condition, known as increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut, becomes more common as we age and our digestive systems become more vulnerable. When your gut lining is compromised, partially digested food particles, toxins and bacteria can escape into your bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation throughout your body. This chronic, low-grade inflammation is now recognized as one of the primary drivers of aging and age-related diseases. The inflammation caused by leaky gut doesn't just affect your digestive system, it travels throughout your body, accelerating the aging of your brain, heart, joints, and skin. It's like having a small fire burning inside you constantly, slowly but surely wearing down your body's systems and making you age faster than you should. Dr. Jennifer Martinez, a gastroenterologist who specializes in age-related digestive disorders, explains, many seniors suffer from chronic inflammation without realizing that their diet is the primary trigger. Foods high in lectins and glycoalkaloids can turn the digestive system into a source of systemic inflammation, accelerating aging throughout the entire body. Eleanor had been eating bell peppers almost daily, adding them to her salads, stir-fries, and omelets. She prided herself on eating the rainbow of colors, not realizing that these colorful peppers were contributing to her digestive discomfort and brain fog. When she eliminated them from her diet, her mental clarity improved dramatically, and the chronic bloating she had accepted as normal completely disappeared. Now you might be wondering, if these vegetables are so problematic, why hasn't anyone told you this before? The answer lies in the complex relationship between the food industry, nutritional guidelines, and individual biochemistry. First, the standard nutritional advice is based on population averages, not individual needs. What works for a 30-year-old may be harmful for a 70-year-old. As we age, our digestive capacity, detoxification ability, and inflammatory response all change dramatically. Foods that were once beneficial can become problematic. Second, the food industry has a vested interest in promoting the consumption of cheap, widely available crops like tomatoes, potatoes, and peppers. These vegetables are easy to grow, store well, and can be processed into countless products. There's little incentive to fund research that might reveal their potential problems. Third, nightshade sensitivity is highly individual and often develops gradually over time. Many people don't make the connection between their symptoms and these seemingly healthy foods because the effects can be delayed and subtle. You might eat a tomato-heavy meal today and not feel the inflammatory effects until tomorrow or even several days later. But here's what's truly insidious about these three vegetables. They're often the foods that seniors are specifically encouraged to eat more of. Tomatoes for their lycopene, potatoes for their potassium, and bell peppers for their vitamin C. Well-meaning doctors, nutritionists, and family members push these foods as part of a healthy diet, unknowingly contributing to accelerated aging. The science behind nightshade sensitivity in aging adults is becoming increasingly clear. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that glycoalkaloids can disrupt cellular membranes, leading to increased oxidative stress and inflammation. Another study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences showed that these compounds can interfere with mitochondrial function, the powerhouses of our cells, leading to decreased energy production and accelerated cellular aging. But perhaps most concerning is the research showing that nightshade compounds can cross the blood-brain barrier and contribute to neuroinflammation. This brain inflammation has been linked to cognitive decline, memory problems, and an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. If you've been experiencing brain fog, difficulty concentrating, or memory issues, these three vegetables might be contributing factors. Eleanor's transformation wasn't just physical, it was mental too. After eliminating nightshades from her diet, her thinking became clearer, her memory sharper, and her overall cognitive function improved dramatically. She described it as coming out of a fog I didn't even realize I was in. Now let's talk about what happens when you eliminate these three aging accelerators from your diet. The changes can be remarkable and often happen faster than you might expect. Within the first week, many people notice improved sleep quality and reduced joint stiffness. The inflammatory compounds that were disrupting your sleep cycles and causing morning aches begin to clear from your system. You might find yourself waking up more refreshed and moving more easily throughout the day. By the second week, digestive improvements often become apparent. Bloating, gas, and stomach discomfort that you may have attributed to getting older often diminish significantly. Your gut lining begins to heal, and your digestive system starts functioning more efficiently. The third and fourth weeks often bring improvements in skin quality and appearance. As inflammation decreases and your body's detoxification systems recover, your skin may begin to look clearer, more radiant, and even younger. Fine lines may soften, and that healthy glow you remember from your younger years might start to return. Many people also report improved mental clarity and cognitive function during this period. The neuroinflammation caused by nightshade compounds begins to subside, allowing your brain to function more optimally. You might find yourself thinking more clearly, remembering things more easily, and feeling mentally sharper overall. But the most profound changes often occur after a month or more of avoiding these aging accelerators. Energy levels typically stabilize and improve. Joint pain and stiffness often decrease significantly, and many people report feeling years younger than they did just weeks before. Eleanor describes her transformation this way. "It was like someone turned back the clock. I didn't just feel better, I felt like myself again. The person I was before age started weighing me down." Now, you might be concerned about missing out on important nutrients by avoiding these vegetables. Let me address this concern directly. While tomatoes, potatoes, and bell peppers do contain some beneficial nutrients, there are much better sources of these same nutrients that don't come with the inflammatory baggage. Instead of tomatoes for lycopene, try watermelon, pink grapefruit, or guava. These fruits provide even higher levels of lycopene without the glycoalkaloids. For the potassium you might get from potatoes, turn to avocados, bananas, or leafy greens. These alternatives provide potassium, along with other beneficial compounds, and without the blood sugar spikes. For vitamin C, instead of bell peppers, citrus fruits, berries, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts are excellent choices. These alternatives provide vitamin C along with other antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that actually support healthy aging rather than accelerating it. But this isn't just about substitution. It's about understanding that as we age, our nutritional needs change. Foods that served us well in our youth may become problematic as our bodies change. This is particularly true for foods high in anti-nutrients, compounds that can interfere with the absorption of beneficial nutrients or cause inflammatory reactions. The key is to focus on nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory foods that support your body's changing needs. Leafy greens, berries, fatty fish, nuts, seeds, and other non-nightshade vegetables can provide all the nutrients you need without the inflammatory compounds that accelerate aging. Let me share another story that illustrates this perfectly. Robert, a 74-year-old retired teacher, had been suffering from chronic joint pain and fatigue for years. His doctor attributed it to arthritis and age, prescribing anti-inflammatory medications that provided little relief and caused stomach upset. Robert's daughter, a nutritionist, suggested he try eliminating nightshades for just 2 weeks to see if it made a difference. Robert was skeptical, but desperate enough to try anything. Within 10 days, his joint pain had decreased by about 70%, and his energy levels were the highest they'd been in years. When Robert reintroduced tomatoes after the 2-week elimination period, his joint pain returned within 24 hours. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a clear cause and effect relationship that had been hidden for years because he'd been eating these foods daily. The elimination and reintroduction process is actually one of the best ways to determine if these foods are affecting you. Remove all nightshades from your diet for at least 2 weeks, preferably 4. Pay attention to how you feel, your energy levels, joint comfort, digestive health, sleep quality, and mental clarity. After the elimination period, reintroduce 1 nightshade at a time, eating a moderate amount and observing your body's response over the next 48 to 72 hours. Many people are surprised to discover that foods they'd been eating without question were actually causing significant problems. During the elimination period, focus on eating plenty of non-nightshade vegetables. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and arugula are powerhouses of nutrition without any of the problematic compounds. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage provide cancer-fighting compounds and support your body's natural detoxification processes. Root vegetables like sweet potatoes, carrots, and beets can satisfy your need for hearty, satisfying foods without the glycoalkaloids found in regular potatoes. These alternatives often provide more nutrients and fiber while being easier on your digestive system. But this journey isn't just about what you eliminate. it's about what you add. This is an opportunity to discover new foods, new flavors, and new ways of nourishing your body. Many people find that eliminating nightshades leads them to a more diverse, interesting, and ultimately more satisfying way of eating. Consider herbs and spices that can replace the flavors you might miss. Instead of relying on tomatoes for umami flavor, try mushrooms, which provide deep, satisfying taste along with immune-supporting compounds. Instead of bell peppers for crunch and color, try radishes, cucumbers, or colorful non-nightshade vegetables. The goal isn't deprivation, it's optimization. You're not taking away foods. You're choosing foods that serve your body better at this stage of your life. This shift in perspective can make all the difference in how you approach and sustain these changes. It's also important to understand that this isn't necessarily a permanent elimination for everyone. Some people find that they can tolerate small amounts of nightshades occasionally, while others feel best avoiding them completely. Your body is unique, and your response will be individual to you. The key is awareness and choice. Once you understand how these foods affect you personally, you can make informed decisions about whether and when to include them in your diet. You're no longer a victim of mysterious symptoms or unexplained aging. You're an empowered individual who understands your body's needs. Eleanor now enjoys the occasional tomato when she's dining out or at special occasions, but she's eliminated them from her daily routine. She's learned to listen to her body and adjust accordingly. Most importantly, she's reclaimed her vitality and proven that aging doesn't have to mean accepting decline and discomfort. This information might seem overwhelming at first, especially if these 3 vegetables have been staples in your diet. But remember, every positive change starts with a single step. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small, pay attention to how you feel, and trust your body's wisdom. Many people worry about what their family will think or how they'll explain these dietary changes. The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing foods that make you feel better. Your health and vitality are worth more than adhering to conventional wisdom that may not serve your individual needs. If you're cooking for others who don't want to make these changes, that's perfectly fine. You can easily prepare meals that work for everyone by serving nightshade ingredients on the side or choosing recipes that naturally don't include these foods. The most important thing is to start paying attention to how different foods make you feel. Your body is constantly communicating with you, providing feedback about what serves you and what doesn't. The problem is that we've been taught to ignore these signals in favor of external advice about what we should eat. As we age, this internal communication becomes even more important. Your body's needs change, and what worked for you at 40 or 50 may not work at 60 or 70. This isn't a failure or a limitation, it's simply an evolution that requires adaptation and awareness. Consider keeping a simple food and symptom journal for a few weeks. Note what you eat and how you feel throughout the day. Look for patterns. Do you feel more tired after certain meals? Do your joints ache more on days when you eat specific foods? This information is invaluable for understanding your unique needs. The journey to optimal health and vitality at any age is deeply personal. What I've shared with you today about these 3 aging accelerators is based on scientific research and countless personal experiences, but your individual response may vary. The most important thing is to approach this information with curiosity rather than rigid adherence to rules. Your body has an incredible capacity for healing and renewal, regardless of your age. The choices you make today about what you eat can influence how you feel tomorrow, next week, and next year. By eliminating foods that cause inflammation and accelerate aging, you're giving your body the opportunity to express its natural vitality. Think about how you want to feel as you continue to age. Do you want to accept decline as inevitable, or do you want to explore every opportunity to feel vibrant, energetic, and healthy? The choice is yours, and it often comes down to simple decisions about what you put on your plate. Eleanor's story is just one of thousands of similar transformations. She didn't accept that fatigue, joint pain, and mental fog were just part of getting older. She was willing to question conventional wisdom and try something different. That willingness to experiment and listen to her body changed her life. Remember, you have more control over how you age than you might think. While genetics certainly play a role, the lifestyle choices you make daily, including what you eat, have a profound impact on your vitality, longevity, and quality of life. The three vegetables we've discussed today might seem harmless, even healthy, to most people, but for many seniors, they represent hidden sources of inflammation and accelerated aging. By recognizing this and making informed choices, you're taking control of your health in a way that few people ever do. This isn't about fear or restriction, it's about empowerment and optimization. You're not depriving yourself of anything important. Instead, you're choosing foods that truly nourish and support your body's needs at this stage of your life. Your journey to renewed vitality and slower aging can begin today with something as simple as examining what's in your refrigerator. Those tomatoes, potatoes, and bell peppers might be standing between you and the energy, comfort, and mental clarity you deserve. The path forward is clear. Eliminate these three aging accelerators for at least 2 weeks. Pay attention to how you feel and trust your body's response. You might be amazed at how much younger and more vibrant you can feel when you remove the foods that are working against you. Your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right knowledge and choices, you can feel stronger, more energetic, and more alive than you have in years. The power is in your hands, and it starts with what you choose to put on your plate today.